What is up, everybody? My name is Jack Billings, and I'm the CEO and founder of Shedknives. Today, I'm going into the 2023 Conquest here on OD Green G10, so be sure to stay until the end of the video, because I'm sure you'll learn something new. Alright guys, like I said, my name is Jack Billings, CEO and founder of Shedknives. Today, we're getting into the Conquest. So, overall appearance here, we have a nice box, beautiful box here, with the glossy Shedknives logo. We also have the information here so you know what color you're getting, which 2023 Shedknives Conquest, and as we see, it's OD green. If you're ordering through a dealer, you might have a barcode here instead of this sticker. This sticker is probably going to be on the bottom. This is just so the dealer is able to stack this and be able to scan stuff, so it just makes it easier for them. But anyways, now that we know it's a Conquest, let's go ahead and open this thing up. As we see, first things first, 100% USA made with 100% USA materials. So let's open this up. First things first, we see this beautiful, beautiful Conquest. Such a nice knife. This is one, I have to say, that it takes a moment to get used to. Meaning, it's such a different knife. You don't see these often. It's such a different piece that you just kind of have to look at it for a second. For all you car guys out there, or car girls as well, it's kind of like a vehicle. You're like, wow, this is neat. So this is pretty cool. So, and as you knife junkies know, sometimes you just have to admire the knife before you get to it. But this is an unboxing here, so we have to open the knife, of course. So this G10 knife here, the OD green here, a few things about it. First off, the G10 is going to darken up over time. It's going to look really good. I notice all the G10 I sell, it's going to start darkening up. That's because I sell it, I guess, in a raw state. I don't put any coating over it. It's just such a stable material, I don't need to. So you'll notice that over time. As we see, we have the Kydex sheath here. We have the Kydex clip, 2 bolts here, 3 screws, and we see this is a unique way to open this. So you don't just pull it out straight. You actually kind of have to bend the knife. Like if this is a knife, you kind of have to bend it at an angle and pull it out. The reason for this, if we're carrying this upside down, we're doing a upside down carry, or I guess inverted. There's a specific name for it. All I know is that you can carry this thing upside down. I do it. I carry my sheep's foot upside down. So to keep it in, I have to put a little, I guess, crease there in the Kydex. This is to keep your knife in place. Now, how to take it out? Once again, we just kind of bend it a little bit, pull it out. And it has an amazing click. Wow. Just has this cool click. This is by far my favorite clicking, I guess you could say, clicking knife. It just perfect. Pull it out. See, you see what I did there? And then click right there. So just a little angle. Pow, clicks. So that's enough about the sheath. Let's get into the actual knife. So as we see, we have a Tonto blade here. We have a hollow grind, both sides. The hollow grind, it meets perfectly. Look at that. It meets very, very perfectly. I mean, is that even a thing? Hold on now. Very, very perfectly. Isn't that amazing? I'm coming up with my own terminology here. We have this great meet up here. A good way to tell how quality of a grind you have on a knife, especially with the Tonto blades, is how the two grinds meet, and then when they sharpen it, does that meet as well? So you have a lot of things to look at. Also, do these two meet on each side? And yes, they do. So it comes down to a very sharp point there. I have a piece of paper from a previous video that will show you that point. I'm barely touching the paper, like barely, and it's cutting right through. So let's see here. Let's do a little sharpness test on that paper. Wow. Hold on. Did you guys see that? Let's see. I'm barely touching it. This is insane. This is insane. Very sharp here. Now let's get into some of the actual the components here. So as we see, there's no way really for your hand to slip across that blade. We have a beautiful indentation there in the handle to get your fingers right there to stop, and then your thumb goes right on that G10, or on that jimping, excuse me, on that jimping right up there. It's perfect. Look at the fit. Absolutely amazing. Now the reason for this here, the reason the blade looks like this is because something companies do not do, and it's something I picked up on, but I did it. So I'm one of the few companies who picks up on where the user's energy and momentum is placed. So let me dive deeper into that here, okay? So let me dive deeper into that here. All right. So when a user, let's just say you, okay, you're using this knife. You want to push into something. You want to stab into a piece of wood. Maybe it's a self-defense situation. You need to use it for stabbing. How do you use your momentum? Well, of course, it comes from your arm, really. You have your entire arm, and it goes into the knife. So you have this channel, you have your whole arm here, and all this energy is coming down. You have the handle, goes in, and it eventually gets to that point. Now, how do we maximize that? There's a few ways. Number one, we need to make sure our hand is stuck onto the knife. There's no way our hand is coming off. That's why we have the two indentations. Number two, we need to look at where energy comes in. Well, we have the handle. Okay, so this energy is transferred from the palm. Look at this. The center of the palm sits very nice right there. Our fingers have a nice grip. And then another method of movement here. Look at the energy. It transfers from my thumb. Look at this. Directly into the point. Isn't that interesting? Thumb sits right here. We're pushing, pushing, pushing. Power right to the point. So we have all this movement. To sum this up, we have all this movement coming in, coming in, coming in, and it focuses into this blank, goes all the way to the point. And that's a very sharp point, by the way. I've done some videos on this knife here, actually using it in the field, and this thing is a beast. So I know that's a lot of elaboration here on energy and movement and motion, but it's important to know. Now, moving into the key features here of this knife, we have the G10 handle, of course, the 3 screws, flathead on the left side, Phillips head on the right side. That is to match the screws on the sheath. Now, why is that? It's so, let's just say you lose a screw in your clip here, you just pull the center one out. You have the option of a Phillips head or a flathead to take out the center one, and you replace it. So that way you have interchangeable parts. Next up, we have the jimping, like I mentioned. We have a sharpening choil here, 1/2-inch lanyard hole, and we have a nice, I call this a dull point because it's not sharp, it can't cut you, but it's definitely a blunt impact point. So also feels cool. You can see my palm just wraps around there. There's not a tough point right there. So really fits nice in the hand. It's just a comfortable knife. I was at Blade Show just a few days ago, and a lot of people really like this. Now, I did have one person mention something. You see how thin that is right there? It's pretty thin compared to other components of the knife, and they asked, if I'm prying with this knife, is it gonna bend? Is something going to happen there? And I said, well, let's flip the knife the other way. Right now we have at least a 1/2 inch, if not 3/4 of an inch of material right there. So it's very strong. I've pried with this thing. It's very tough. It's also just a thick piece of 154 cm. Very tough steel. So pretty cool there, just how the structural design. But yes, I did take that into consideration, just how thin that was there. So that's why we have a little bit thicker steel, and we have those bolts squeezing everything together to kind of spread out that weakness, if that makes sense. But to sum that up, very strong. So we also have the SK23 here for Shed Knives 2023. This is special and unique on all 2023 models. This started last year in 22, and it says SK22 for last year, of course, just to mark the year. Just makes it easy for people to track what year their knife is. A few other things on here, just the general grip. We have a little contour there for your fingers. Once again, a little contour for your palm there, and it just fits very nice. Let's bring this sheath out here and talk about this. So a few people asked, how does this click in? Well, like I mentioned earlier, you go in, you see not straight, just at a little angle, okay? You just push it in, but it clicks right there in the back. It also locks onto these bolts here. There's a little bit of an indentation, so the Kydex is able to mold into that. So pretty cool. Also, we have our sharpening choil right there. So these are all locking mechanisms to keep this knife secure, but it also allows you to easily take it out and use it, especially if it's on your hip and you need to use it for a self-defense situation, or just even if you're opening a box. You know, it's super nice. I was using this knife to actually open some packages to get this banner out specifically, and man, it just cuts right through. So beautiful knife. This clip is adjustable, by the way. You can adjust that. And yes, that's about it with the knife. Let's get into a few of the other things. We have the Shed Knives Conquest information sheet here, really the spec sheet. Everything you need to know and want to know is on here. But if you have an additional question, hey, send us an email right there, sales@shedknives.com. Send us a message, comment it below, whatever works best for you, and we'll be happy to answer the best we can. Moving on here, we have the brochure here, the 2023 product brochure. Just has all the colors here, 6 colors, 7 knife models, all our social media, just stuff like that. Just tells you a little bit about the 2023 collection. Also on the back, we are accepting dealers. So if you or someone you know resells knives in a store or is looking to do that, please send us an email. Once again, sales@shedknives.com, and I'll be happy to work with you one-on-one with that. So that's the product brochure. Also comes with a few stickers here. I always love stickers. Everybody loves stickers as far as I know. And these things last quite a bit. I've actually had one outside on the shed since like 2020 or 2021, I'm pretty sure. So I've had these things out there for a few years, and man, they still look great. So you can use these on water bottles, toolboxes, vehicles, whatever you want. These things will last. Just be sure to clean your surface before putting it on. And the last but not least, we have the product information here. This just tells you how to be safe with your knife, talks to you about the warranty a little bit, and also how to deal with the warranty. To sum it up, if you break your knife, we'll say maybe you break the point off, you break the G10, maybe you bend it, something happens, hey, just send us a message, send a letter in the mail, whatever works. The address is in there. Send something to reach out, talking about your issue, and hey, I'll be happy to help. Now, I do have to say, we are 5 months into the 2023 collection, 6 months into the year here, and I have to say, I've not heard a single bad thing about these knives. Everybody who's bought one and has used them, they're very impressed by them. They love them, especially the Conquest. Such a nice knife, and I haven't heard anything bad. Nothing has come back, so 100% positive feedback from what I've heard. So thank you very much to everyone who has said something about these knives. I appreciate it. If you'd like to pick one up for yourself, or maybe for someone you know, a Father's Day is coming up. So be sure to pick one up for that father figure in your life. You can go to shedknives.com. You can either look it up right there, or click the link in the description to visit shedknives.com directly to the Conquest here, where you can view not just this knife here, the Conquest, but you can view all the other 2023 models. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll see you in the next one.